Alright, for this video we're going to be doing number 15, 16, and 19. Bit of an odd combination, but it's going to give you a good overview and a good starting point through which you can do the rest on the page. Whenever we're solving a radical, we solve it by squaring both sides. If you recall, the opposite of adding is subtracting, so they cancel each other out. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, that's why they cancel each other out. Just like the opposite of square rooting something is squaring it. So if I ever square root and square the same thing, they cancel each other out. So what we're going to do for number 15, we start off by simply squaring both sides. We get down to just the radical, and then we square both sides. So the answer is, those cancel out, x equals 49. Okay. 16 is the same idea. The square root is the only thing over here. There's nothing else besides the square root over here. So we're just going to go ahead and square both sides. Get that out of the way. And 4 squared is 16 equals, and the square root cancel each other out. So we got x over 10. Last thing we got to do is solve for x. So the 10 is dividing, so I'll multiply by 10. So therefore, x equals 160. Alright? Alright, 19 is a little different. We can't go ahead and square both sides because of all this junk out front. Remember, there can't be anything out front or anything out behind the radical, otherwise things get much, much more complicated. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start off by adding the 2 to both sides. Let's try a little cleaner. If we add 2 to both sides, we still get negative square root of x plus 4 equals, and we add 2, that's 7. Right? A lot of people would go ahead, some people, for some odd reason, they just do negative 2 minus 1, they get a negative 3. No, that negative 1 right here, which that's a 1, is multiplying all of this. So we need to divide by negative 1. And if we divide by negative 1, really all we've done is we have flipped the signs of everything involved. So divide by negative 1, this becomes positive, and that becomes negative. So you have the square root of x plus 4 equals negative 7. Now the square root of something can never equal a negative number. So a square root will never give you a negative number. So for this one, it's no solution. Alright? If it had been a positive 7, we would have gone ahead and squared both sides. So let's just say that was a positive 7 for just a second. We'd square both sides and we get x plus 4 on the left and we get 49 on the right. Subtract the 4 and go on from there. But since it was negative, we got to deal with it as it is. I will never take the square root of something and get a negative number. All right, and we're going to go ahead and do one more after this. We're going to do number 23. All right, just because it's different looking. You'll notice with this one, we've got nothing out front of the radicals, nothing out back behind the radicals, nothing going on crazy. We got nothing but 2 big radicals. So in this case, we're just going to go ahead and square both sides. All right. And just like before, the square root cancels out the square, and we're left with what's inside. So on the left, you got 2x minus 5, and on the right, you got 3x plus 5. And we'll just solve from there. If I add 5 to both sides, I'll go ahead and add 5. So I got 2x equals 3x plus 10. If I subtract the 3x, I get negative x equals 10. And then last but not least, if I just switch the signs, x equals negative 10. All right. And so don't let the 2 big radicals fool you. Really, all you got to do is square both sides, and they cancel right out.